We learned last time that Hashem got Moshe Rabbeinu's attention specifically through a burning bush. The bush is on fire, but it's not being consumed. And the reason was, Hashem could have given any kind of way to get Moshe's attention. The reason was that the whole message of the Shlichus was Tomun was buried in this Mara, in this vision. That, you see the bush? Yeah. You see it's on fire? Yeah. But it's not being consumed. Klal Yisrael is on fire with Tumah all around it, but you should know the essence is not being consumed. We call that a chelik l'ka mimal mamish. And there's nothing wrong, and there's no damage to the Yid, even though they are mem teshari Tumah, even though they're in heferu bris milah, they stop giving the bris. That's what you need to know. They are worthy of geula. Go and redeem them. Moshe Rabbeinu says, hey, I got a problem. You convinced me of this whole thing that they're worthy of geula from a sneh. Are you giving me a portable sneh? How am I going to convince them? They're going to have the same questions as I did. We are not worthy of geula because we're full of mem teshari tumah, and it probably destroyed our essence. We became bad. Kids are going to clubs and kids are doing averis. They probably became bad. Their essence probably became spoiled and rotten. So very nice, you convinced me by a sneh, but this sneh, I can't carry a sneh. I can't carry a bush. Are you giving me little portable ones, or how am I going to tell them? And that's taka what happened when Moshe Rabbeinu came and he told Klal Yisrael great news. Higia zman geulaschem. Hashem came to redeem you. What was the reaction? Heich anu negalim. What are you talking about? Heich anu negalim. How could be redeemed? The whole Eretz Mitzrayim was full of our avodah zarah. It's impossible. And that's what Moshe Rabbeinu told Hashem, Beheim lo yaminu li. They're not going to believe me. Hashem is interested in them. They're not going to believe me. So Hashem says, fine, you're right. He says, Moshe, what's in your hand? He says, a mata. Hashem says, throw the mata down. It turned into a snake. Moshe got scared. Listen to how beautiful this is. Moshe got scared. Okay, and Hashem says, go and take the snake into your palm of your hand. Biznavai, the tail, note that, turns back into a stick. Very cool. What exactly happened here? Hashem just was like, wow, that's right. I don't know how I'm going to convince them. Hey, Moshe, what do you got in your hand? A stick. Oh, great, I got a great stick trick. Whoa, what a coincidence. I'm so happy you have a stick in your hand. Now I got a great trick. And he's scared. He gets scared that the stick turned into a snake. Why did he get? He's in the middle of talking to Hashem. In the middle of talking to God, and you're going to get scared of a snake? What scared him? And how come when he told him to take the snake, why didn't he take it by the face? Why did he have to go to the tail? And what was the purpose of taking it back and it turns back into a stick? L'chaira, because he needed a stick back for the next show. The real wow would be that the stick turned into a snake. The fact afterwards that he got it back to a stick is not the wow, l'chaira. In fact, when he turned the stick into a snake by the Chatume Pare, they also, magicians knew the stick trick. So, l'chaira, that was the big trick. Stick turns into a snake. Everyone says, ooh, wow, we never saw this one before. And that's going to convince them. But really, why would that convince them? The Egyptians had the same trick. And again, taking it back, according to Pashup Shat, is just to get your stick back for the next show. Says in Nesivas Shalom, listen to this, beautiful. The point of the trick wasn't just to wow them with a trick. The point was to answer their question. Their question was, Heich anu negalim, how could we be redeemed? We're bad. We're not who you think we are. We changed. Our essence changed. We're not Bnei Yaakov anymore. We're not the children of the Shiftei Ka. In 210 years, we lost our value. Heich anu negalim, how could Hashem really have sent you to redeem us? Us at the club on Friday night, doing all the averis, smoking up and whatever, and Mashiach comes and says Hashem wants you. They're not going to believe it. So I'm going to show them a magic trick, and they say, whoa, you must be either a great magician or a messenger of God. No. The magic trick answered their shaila. How? Says the Nesivas Shalom, Ga'ainis. A stick has two words that describe a stick. There's two Hebrew words to describe a stick. One is makal. One is mata. A makal is a stick that's used to hurt people. A makal chayvlin. You bang someone on the head. A mata is a stick that's used like a cane, she'alav nishanim, that you rest on it, and it helps you stand, it helps you go in your life. The makal comes from the olam hachurban. The mateh comes from the olam habinyan. It's helpful. Kadosh Baruch Hu says, of course I know what's in your hand. I know it's a stick. What kind of a stick do you have in your hand, Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe says, a mateh. A stick that's used for binyan. It helps me walk. It's not something that I use to hurt people. It's not from the olam hachurban. It's not the Ligenstecken that the Rabbeim used to have in yeshiva when you told a lie. It's a mata, ma'olam habinyan. Hashem says, take that good mata that is used to be helpful and make the world a better place and throw it into the artzius. Throw it into the artzius is a lashon of the depth of the tumah. It's called artzius. And what happens? That same beautiful mata that was good turns into a seething, angry snake. The snake, he says, has no purpose. It's all olam hachurban. A cow you can plow with. A dog has value, as we know. But a snake has no value, even though I know at one kip that he had an 8-foot snake as a pet. It has no value in this world. And that's what scared Moshe. He wasn't scared of the snake. He was scared when he saw something so good that he knew so well and it helped him so much turn into something so angry, so bitter, so horrible, wanting to bite you and destroy you. Like we see our kinderlach, that when they were in 2nd grade, and 4th grade, and 6th grade, they're so cute, so wonderful, so smart, olam habinyan. And they got thrown into a world of artzias. And some of them become so bitter, so angry, like snakes. They want to destroy us. They want to kill us. They want to destroy Klal Yisrael and burn down the whole village. As the famous story says, the famous Vart. I don't know where it comes from. It takes a village to build a child, and a child that does not feel the warmth of the village will burn down the village to feel its warmth. The child who feels abandoned by us will burn us down, burn it down. Everything, Torah, community, Hasidus, Litvish, burn it down. Burn down the family, the community, out of pain. That's what's scary. When we see our kids who were so cute and wonderful and so good, and all of a sudden they're so full of anger because they were thrown into artzius, vayonas, Moshe mipana. That was what scared him. How did this mata from the olam habinyan become so destructive? But that's not the end of the story. That's just the beginning. Don't go to the face of the snake and attack it. What's the matter with you? Get out of here. In my house, you can't dress like that. How could you talk like that? No. Go to the tail and embrace it. Or I would say, embrace the tail activities. Embrace it in the palm of your hand, and in your warmth that you embrace it, it turns back into that mata me'olam habinyan she'alav nishanin that's good for the world. The godless of the trick wasn't that it turned into a snake. The godless was that a snake can return back to be a stick, because it was always a stick. It was only reacting to being thrown into the artzius, thrown into trauma, thrown into a world that it can't function. He didn't take back the snake, turn it into a stick so he can travel. That was the point of the message of the magic trick. Klal Yisrael, you think you're a snake because you're in Memte Shari Tumah? No, you were thrown into Ervis Haaretz. It's not your fault that you're this way. And you're still good. And when you'll be embraced, like Hashem is going to embrace you, He calls you B'ni B'chayri Yisrael. Before they did tshuva, as we've spoken, Hashem said, I love you more than heavenly angels, the way you are. There was no Yom Tshuva. There was no fast day. They didn't have to do tshuva. The way they were, Hashem did dam tzvardeh. And with every time that He knocked the Egyptians, it wasn't about the Egyptians. It was showing us, showing your kid, look what I'm going to do to your enemies because I love you, even though you have a tattoo and you're bowing to idols and Mem Teshari Tumah. Each one was rebuilding our self-esteem, that we should believe in ourselves, that we should believe that Hashem cares about us, that we're good. We're not bad, lazy, or stupid. We're really good. I am behaving so bad because Hashem knows you were thrown into Artzius. You were exposed to things you should never have been exposed to. If the Shiftei Ka would not have ended up in Mitzrayim, and we wouldn't have been exposed to Eretz Haaretz and to the worst spiritually depraved land in the world, we never would have fallen. So the only reason we behave that way externally is because of we were thrown into that world of Bilbul Adas and Cheshkus Hamoyach and all of that. It's not who we are. Our essence is good. That was the message of the ice. Isn't that beautiful? But what if they're going to say, I don't believe you, Moshe? So Pashut Pshat was, it's not such a great trick. By the way, I want to mention something else. The raya to what he's saying is, the Mitzrayim were able to make a mata into a nachash, but we don't find that the nachash became a mata again. Only Moshe Rabbeinu did that. Because only the Yidden are really good that they really could become a mata. The nachash of the Mitzrayim, they did that trick, but remained a nachash. I don't know if that's true. Maybe somewhere you'll find that it returned. I've never seen that. So l'chayre, that's a difference. So Pashut Pshat is, well, what if they're going to say, you know, that's a nice trick, but I've seen that. I was on Broadway. I saw that trick already. I think the Egyptians do that one also. That's nice, but it's not so amazing. So Hashem says, I'll give you another trick. No, that's looking at it like a third grader. Nesivas Shalom says, because they're going to say, I hear that something that has no bechira and gets thrown into the dirt really is good and can come back to be good. But what if it has bechira? If it's a bal bechira, it's not true. It doesn't pertain to us. We're not falling for that. We're not a stick that was thrown into Artzius. We were taka thrown into Artzius, but we had bechira. How many people say that? The kids, they have bechira. So maybe they're not going to buy it. So Hashem says, you know what? I'm going to show you a deeper lesson. Take your hand and put it inside. Take it out, and it's going to look like it's dead and Mitzayra is like a mace. You had bechira. You were a human being. And you went on the internet, and you did bad daveris, and you hooked up with who knows what, and you did everything, right? And then you became white like a Mitzayra, which is mace. You feel dead inside. You feel like I have no kedusha. I have no tahara. I can't connect to any of this stuff anymore. And go ahead and put it right back inside. Right here. Right? Where it's nice and warm. Embrace it. And it turns right back into flesh. And that message was, again, that you think that you messed up because you're bad. You didn't become dead. You're feeling bad. There's a way to come back. Your essence is good. And then there's a third lesson as well, that Hashem said, take some water and pour it out, and it turns into blood. Very interesting, says in Nesivas Shalom, that one never returned, because that message was different. That message was that you're farkoift by a life of the Mitzrayim. You're farkoift by them. You think it has tremendous value. You should just know it's all blood. It's all a waste of time. Like we get farkoift in addiction of altered reality, of chasing things that are not real. And that needed to be broken. That it's all money. It's all blood. It's all blood. What the Mitzrayim want, it's all coming from the blood. And Hashem took that water, which is a kinui for different things, taiva and whatever, and the Moshe Rabbeinu's trick was he turned it into blood to show them has no shavis, has no value. There's no reason to let that run your life. And with those ISIS, the reason of the ISIS was to convince Klal Yisrael of one thing. The same message as the Sneh was to convince all of us that Hashem wants us, even though we act and behave badly, because we are be'etzem good. That was the point of the ISIS.